Then I'd like to hand over to Robert Koller. Robert is the head of internal audit for K&H Bank in Hungary. He's also ECIA board member. Welcome, Robert. And I hand over to you for the final conclusions of today. Over to you, Robert.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Willem Jans. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. As an ECIA board member, I have the privilege and the honor today to conclude this event. I believe we had excellent sessions today with really good speakers and very much interesting topics. So it is very difficult to pick up the most important items or the key messages, but I try my best really, and I try to pinpoint the most important topics. First of all, we all agreed during the presentations that COVID has changed a lot of things in our life. And there are new risks on the horizon. The internal audit is there to follow up, is there to learn new things, and is there to provide assurance and advice to the board. That's very important. It was also mentioned several times that the change of speed or the change itself is the most obvious characteristic of the past period, and then those will remain with us in the next couple of years. It was mentioned at the very beginning that there are new challenges in the banking industry, like ESG. This was mentioned several times, like the threat of fintech companies, or the need of data analysis or digital capabilities within the team. And these resources are clearly scarce these days, so there is a real fight for the technical talents. And then we as head of internal audits need to overcome these challenges, of course. As far as the banking industry is concerned, there are several challenges which were with us previously, but those will remain with us in the next couple of months and years. These are mainly related to the credit portfolio quality, the NPL ratio, and the level of provision. And then we as internal auditors, we need to make sure that these figures and the reports related to these figures remain accurate. It was also mentioned that regulators are still very active with issuing new requirements like amendments to the PSD2 requirements or to the AML legislation. Of course, internal audit needs to follow these changes and challenges, and this will require new skills from us, more agility from our teams, and which was also mentioned several times that it requires better collaboration and more frequent collaboration with the second line. As a consequence, we should put more efforts in training and development, and we should make sure that we have qualified colleagues in our teams. So qualification and the importance of qualifications is very important, and it's high on the agenda at this moment. It was mentioned several times also by the ECB colleagues that the quality of people in internal audit and the quality of our messages in our reports is very important. It's getting even more important in the future, just to make sure that if we find something or if we would like to advise to the management, we can provide those messages clearly and on a timely manner. There was a full agreement amongst the panelists that we need to work more agile. We need to adjust the audit plan in line with the changing risk environment. And then we need to make sure from time to time that we focus on the really important risks, and then we try to cover those important risks in our audits. It was mentioned also in one of the panels that we as internal audit need to be involved in several key projects in developments with maintaining our independence. That's very important, that if we provide advice in these digitalization projects or as any kind of important projects in the business, we need to make sure that the independence of internal audit team is maintained. During the panel with the ECB colleagues, it was mentioned several times that the supervisors would welcome more and more feedback, more and more open discussions with the internal audit units. So there is a room for us to improve in this front also. There were several interesting poll questions during the panels, and in one of these polls, it clearly came out that the opinion of the chief audit executives is that currently, based on their viewpoints, the most important risks for banking internal audit teams are IT risks, climate risk related to financial crimes, risk related to business model or incorrect business model usage, and of course, the risk related to credit risk. Also, there was a poll related to the best measurement of internal audit effectiveness, and then almost 100% of the participants said that the best measurement of the internal audit effectiveness is the positive stakeholder feedback, and then secondly, our impact on the overall control environment of the organization. So just to conclude, I believe that in the next couple of years, no machines can take over our work, as we as internal auditors will have the human touch, and then this human touch, the individual opinion and the subjective opinion of internal auditors will remain very important. It was also a very important message from the discussions that internal audit must remain supporting the board in making the right decision, in making the right decisions in this very difficult times. Third, the clarity of the message of the internal audit is key. We need to make sure that our reports are easy to understand, and then there are clear indications to the risks. And also, as an importance for the follow-up, we need to make sure that we try to provide proactive advice to the business areas, how to resolve the issues, how to resolve the outstanding problems, and then we need to make sure that we are properly following those issues up. And then, last but not least, we need to be proactive in supporting the projects, supporting the board decisions, and following up the issues. We should have the voice in assessing and managing the new risks, for example, the ESG-related and the climate-related risks, which was also mentioned several times as an increasing risk factor in all of the banks in Europe. So just to summarize, it seems that we have several challenges ahead, but with ensuring proper quality of our audit teams, and then with the clarity and the impacts of our messages, we will be able to manage these kind of future challenges. At the end, and this is the positive side of the story, at the end, I would like to thank the ECIIA Banking Committee members, Andrea, Steven, and Willem-Jan, for their hard work in setting up the program for today. I also need to thank Pascal and Carolina for their hard work in organizing this forum, for selecting the platform, and for all the organizational work they have done during the past couple of weeks and months. I know that it was a very hard work, so I would like to thank all of them. I would like to also thank the great speakers and panelists for their contributions to the success of these events and for their precious opinions, ideas, and comments throughout the day. I think we could all benefit a lot from these ideas and comments that they have provided and they have shared with us. And then, last but not least, I would like to thank those colleagues who participated on these events and who registered for the event and then who were actively contributing to the success of the event with their questions and with their participations in the poll. For those who are eager to receive their CPA credits, I can announce that 5 CPAs will be provided to them through the local IIA institutions. And finally, allow me to let you know one very important thing. After 2 years without ECIIA conference, the ECIIA board decided that we will have a fully fledged ECIIA conference next October in Brussels. There is a small team who is already working on the program and who is already working on setting up the event. So we try to make sure that it will be an excellent event next year. And I really hope that we will be able to meet many of you on this event physically next year in October in Brussels. So thank you very, very much again. Have a nice afternoon and have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.